Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Tuesday edition of Source 16 News. I'm Eddie Owen. Thanks for joining us. Well, we could see some more severe weather move across western Kentucky this evening. The primary threat from this event will be high winds, large hail, heavy rain, and the possibility of tornadoes. All citizens are urged to monitor the weather prior to retiring for the evening and tune to Source 16 or your NOAA radio for any watches or warnings that may be issued. Now, although Source 16 will be broadcasting the Hopkinsville Rotary Auction, we will break in with severe weather coverage in the event of a tornado warning. We'll have more about what we can expect coming up during weather in just a few minutes. Source 16 has learned that a Fort Campbell soldier reportedly died at the local Army post yesterday. Military officials have confirmed the soldier's death, but at this time say they are not releasing the name of the soldier who collapsed during a training exercise at the local post and was then taken to Blanchfield Army Community Hospital. Military officials have released the names of 4 Fort Campbell soldiers who were killed by a suicide bomber over the weekend in Afghanistan. The soldiers are identified as 35-year-old Sergeant First Class Charles Atkins of Sandusky, Ohio, 39-year-old Staff Sergeant Cynthia Taylor of Columbus, Georgia, 28-year-old Sergeant Linda Pierre of Immokalee, Florida, and 21-year-old Specialist Joseph Kemper of Warrensburg, Montana. The soldiers were all assigned to Headquarters and Headquarters Company, 101st Special Troops Battalion, 101st Sustainment Brigade. The soldiers died Saturday as a result of a suicide attack during a meeting in the Nangarhar province. Emergency officials report 6 Hopkinsville Water Environment Authority workers were transported to the local hospital this afternoon after a wreck near Pembroke. Around 2 o'clock this afternoon, emergency officials responded to Kentucky 115, the Pembroke Oak Grove Road at the Rosetown Road intersection near the Rosedale Cemetery, where Sheriff Libby Level says a tractor trailer reportedly sideswiped an HWEA truck with the 6 men. Kentucky 115 was closed for several hours while crews removed the semi and cleaned up over 100 gallons of diesel fuel that spilled from the tractor trailer. Sheriff Level told Source 16 the 6 HWEA workers suffered non-life-threatening injuries. As of news time, no other details have been released. The Pennyrile Area Development District and the West Kentucky Workforce Investment Board announced today a new economic growth strategy for workforce and economic development in the region. Now, nearly a year ago, consultants with the Council for Adult and Experiential Learning and Avalanche Consulting gathered data about the Pennyrile region and today presented their goals, plans, and strategies to boost economic growth.
We have a lot of assets and we're doing a lot of things really well. There's things we can do in the world of economic and workforce development a lot better, and I think that was seen here today. And as far as being more competitive and more targeted in our approaches to economic development, that's going to be one of the major results of this process.
The new strategies are geared toward 4 goals, including advancing the region's talent pipeline, building entrepreneurship, promoting growth, and engaging in marketing.
And not all parts are going to apply to everybody, but we think there's something in there that just about everybody in the region can grab a hold of and run with, in their particular area of interest, whether it be manufacturing, whether it be ag, energy, or tourism.
The new plan is geared toward making the region a destination for new and existing businesses. Possible inclement weather did not dampen the mood today at Heritage Christian Academy. To celebrate Arbor Day, students gathered outside the school early this morning and planted a tulip poplar tree in honor of the Earth-Friendly Day. Hopkinsville Beautification Director Ann Casey explains why today's event is important.
Arbor Day is a celebration that brings to mind that all the trees that we have, we need more. And if we don't replace some of them, then eventually our grandchildren won't have trees when they're grandparents. So trees do a lot. They help the environment, they clean the air, they cool the environment. So there's a lot of reasons for, positive reasons for tree planting, and everybody ought to plant at least 1 tree every year.
Mayor Dan Kemp was at the event and officially proclaimed April 19th as Hopkinsville Arbor Day.
whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes.
National Arbor Day was first celebrated on April 10th back in 1872 in Nebraska. Construction began today in Hopkins County on the long-awaited expansion of the Eddie Ballard Western Kentucky Veterans Center in Hanson. Kentucky Department of Veterans Affairs Commissioner Ken Lucas says, "We are so very pleased that this will enable us to serve 36 more veterans who need nursing care." WKVC opened with 120 beds in 2002, and for several years it has maintained a waiting list of 50 or more veterans, which necessitated the expansion. The $9.9 million expansion will consist of 3 living centers containing 12 bedrooms and private baths with a home-style kitchen, dining room, and living room. The city of Madisonville has been awarded a $6,000 grant by the Kentucky League of Cities. The 2010-2011 Kentucky League of Cities Insurance Services Safety Grant Program was created to help member cities reduce workers' compensation losses and to improve employee and public safety. Madisonville Mayor David Jackson says these grant funds will be utilized to offset costs associated with safety training, protective gear, and public safety signage. The Pennyrile Area and United States Tennis Association have hosted their second packing party last night at Hopkinsville Community College to benefit Fort Campbell soldiers. Hundreds of goodie bags filled with candy and essential hygiene items are now on their way to a Fort Campbell Currahee unit deployed in Afghanistan.
With the sacrifice that they make going over there to serve our country, every little bit that can be done to help the soldiers over there, it's just something that we feel very strongly about. It's something that, even though as a tennis organization, it's something that we can do to help make their lives a little better.
Despite being held on a school night, several eager Belmont Elementary School students showed up and helped fill bags.
Well, I just felt it was important that the soldiers have stuff they need because, well, they're serving our country and they're doing a lot for us, and I just feel we have to give back.
They need travel size stuff to take with them.
I felt that we needed to give back to the soldiers because they're serving our country.
According to event organizers, last night's event would not have been possible without the support of the community. A tip regarding drug activity at a home in Ohio County landed a Beaver Dam man in jail on manufacturing meth and other drug-related offenses. According to Kentucky State Police, the Ohio County Sheriff's Office received information that the occupants of 2 Woodland Trail Beaver Dam were involved in drug activity. During a search by law enforcement agencies, police found methamphetamine, marijuana, pseudoephedrine, oxycodone, a 9mm pistol, and remnants of a meth lab. Police arrested and charged 36-year-old Lawrence Lozano Jr. with manufacturing meth, 2 counts of possession of a controlled substance, possession of a meth precursor, and possession of marijuana. He was lodged in the Ohio County Jail. Many politicians say experience is key when running for office. One Democratic candidate for Commissioner of Agriculture says he can bring just that experience. Anderson County native Stuart Gritton grew up on a dairy farm, and he stopped by our studio to tell us why he feels he's qualified for the Commissioner of Agriculture seat.
Well, in the Department of Agriculture, I was in the division called Show and Fair Promotion. And we work with various livestock shows, state-sponsored shows that we put together with 4-H and FFA. And I specifically work with the Kentucky County Fair System. And so I worked with about 105 county fairs statewide, the fair boards, and helping them to put on their agriculture events in each county fair.
Gritton also talked about his platform for Kentucky agriculture and farmers.
Well, I think that the next Commissioner of Agriculture needs to advocate every day for Kentucky agriculture and Kentucky farmers. We're still the largest industry in the state, or very close to it. And a lot of our urban friends don't know the plight of Kentucky farmers. And so we need to tell our story every day so that they know that when they go to the grocery store, that bountiful supply of food that they have there is safe and wholesome.
There are 4 other Democrats and 2 Republicans running for the seat of Agriculture Commissioner in the upcoming primary elections, which will be held May 17th. A Benton woman was injured when her vehicle hit a horse in Marshall County last night. According to the Marshall County Sheriff's Department, 47-year-old Tammy Fristow was driving on Big Bear Highway around 8 o'clock when 2 horses ran across the road in front of her, causing her to hit one of the horses. Fristow was transported by ambulance to the emergency room at the Marshall County Hospital for treatment. Meanwhile, another Benton woman was flown to an Indiana hospital after she was injured when her vehicle overturned in Marshall County Monday morning. 30-year-old Miranda Mason was driving on Kentucky 348, the Simpsonia Highway, when she ran off the shoulder of the road and overcorrected, causing her vehicle to hit a ditch and overturn. The Marshall County Sheriff's Department reports Mason was transported by PHI to Evansville for treatment of injuries. All right, tonight's Mega Millions jackpot, $12 million. Tomorrow's Powerball jackpot, back up to $56 million.